Hi, welcome to Culture Shot. We've been thinking a lot lately about feedback and how to get feedback from employees and members of your team or whatever, and in terms of the frequency and the duration and the structure and all of those sorts of things. What's best? What works best? Those of you who know me know that I favor simplicity, and here's what I believe works best. Structure your feedback sessions to be weekly and then make them sort of an hour or half an hour long per employee. And so, for example, John gets a feedback session locked into your calendar every single week at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, and Jane gets one every single week at 3 o'clock on a Thursday or 4 o'clock on a Friday, whatever it is. These things are locked in place. Think about this for a second. If you were to have a structured feedback session with each employee that lasts for, say, half an hour or an hour every single week, and then for the rest of the week you let them get on with their work, that's not enough time for you to feel like you're being claustrophobic, for you to feel like you're crushing them or sitting on top of them. It's not enough time to feel like they're being micromanaged, but it's a long enough period of time in between feedback sessions for them to actually get on with their work and maybe do something worthwhile, achieve a result. But it's also a short enough time that they don't screw something up. Frankly, if things start to go wrong, your next feedback session, your next weekly check-in gives you probably the right sort of frequency to be able to prevent something from becoming really catastrophic. What should they be? This is the really important part. Because, and I suppose it depends on how you structure your office and how you structure your conversations with your teams, but because we tend to be quite well connected these days, I mean, you might have a whole Slack group going on in your office, or you might just be, a small enough office where you've got lots of conversation going on. You probably have a feel already, or you should do, for what your people are actually doing. So to sit back once a week and have a feedback session where you're learning for the first time what they've been up to is probably not the way it's going to be. So what would you use that half an hour or 1 hour for? My advice, let them set the agenda. If you already have a take on what's actually going on in terms of the actual operational structure, what's more interesting that you may not be getting is how they feel about it and what they think and what they've seen, what observations they've had, what bright spark ideas have suddenly turned up. A large part of getting feedback from people is simply creating a mechanism for it, and a simple mechanism is always going to be better. And then in terms of making them relevant, making them fancy even if you want, we've been working with an organization lately that manufactures a lot of stuff out of stainless steel. And they use what they call 1810 stainless steel. For the metallurgists, that refers to the amount of chromium versus the amount of nickel in the product. Anyway, apparently it's the highest quality stainless steel you can get, and for them it's a critical differentiator in terms of how they go to market. And they want their people to remember this, 1810, 1810. Just mention that whenever you're speaking to people, 1810, 1810. And so what we decided to do was to structure their feedback sessions around 28 minutes of feedback. We called them 1810 sessions. The first 18 minutes, because they felt this was relevant, was just going over the last week and what it was that's happened and what the goals are for the week ahead. And the 10 minutes is purely feedback from employees on what they think and what they've noticed, that sort of thing. I think feedback is always going to be really, really important. I think we're generally pretty bad at getting it. I hope this is a nice, simple mechanism for you to get better at it. Have a great week.